Yeah. Oh, I just love that opening so much. No, Mike, you can't come in here yet. Okay. Mike Chioda.
You locking them out, man?
Right now, I'm locking them out. We'll have some more information possibly later on in the show, but he's locked out right now. He's down here in Apter's Alley, banging on the door. We're already on the I can't stop.
Yeah, we're live, pal. We're live.
Yeah, we are absolutely live. Dr. Chris.
Bill, how are you, my man?
I'm good. I'm glad I missed last week for the first time ever. Had that stomach bug, but my buddy Hugo Savinovich was here telling.
And he did a fantastic job, man.
Yeah. So we'll have to have him on again so I can interact with him. So listen, I've got something I wanted to open the show up with. As most of you know, we lost the legendary Ole Anderson on the 26th of February, 2024. He was the first guy, along with Gordon Soley, to give me a break and put me on TV, on old Georgia Championship Wrestling, the old Pro Wrestling Illustrated press conferences. He was, half of the Wrecking Crew, he and brother Gene Anderson, just a great, I mean, when you talk about tough ass people, whoa, man, they were, I mean, tough ass, hard as he was a gruff personality at times. A lot of people didn't like him, but I got along great with him because he was like, you had to talk to him. If he said to you, what the hell are you doing here? If you give it back to him and say, what the hell are you doing here? He liked that kind of interaction. He really did. But there's a story I want to tell that I've never told before that connects him with Vince McMahon Sr. and Vince McMahon Jr. Never told the story before. You want to hear it?
Let's do it.
What do you think? You think the people out there want to hear it?
I think so.
Yeah. Do you have any crowd? What do you think? You got any?
There you go. There you go.
All right. So one of the National Wrestling Alliance conventions, I was there, and Vince McMahon Jr. was in the process of, quote unquote, taking over the territories. And there were a lot of people from a lot of the territories there. Jim Barnett for Georgia, and with him was Ole Anderson. And Ole was kind of the leader of, this, pardon my French here, this bastard kid is trying to put us all out of business. And no one really wanted to hear it. Barnett really didn't want to believe it because he was still friends with Vince Sr. There's a lot of political things. Now, they had already, at this point, Vince McMahon Jr. had already talked to the distributors of the magazines I worked for, and told them that we're not going to get access anymore because he's got his own magazine coming out. Again, I've never told this story before. So Ole was kind of in the same camp as me because Ole knew that Vince was doing something to take over the territories, and somehow Georgia was going to get killed in this. And Ole was the king of, the booker and everything. He was trying to tell people that Vince Jr. was trying to take over. So I went over to Vince McMahon Sr. and his wife, who were sitting with David Von Erich and David's wife, Trish, at the time, just to say hello. And Vince Sr. grabbed me by the wrist. He was a very gentle man, very classy. And he stood me up and he walked me to the side. And he said, "What are you telling people about Vinny, about my son Vinny?" I said, "Tell him the truth. He's telling our distributors not to distribute our magazine. He's trying to put some of the territory." He said, "No, listen, if you want to be in the fold, talk to Vinny. Talk to Vinny. You want to be in on the fold here, you will just stop saying all this ridiculous stuff. Otherwise, you might be out of the fold." So Ole called me over and he said, "What did the old man say?" And I told him. He said, "Well, he's full of crap." And little by little, of course, everything that Ole told me was going to happen happened. And then, they all formed a coalition, like with Jarrett, and you formed Pro Wrestling USA, and with all the promoters, and none of that worked out.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first guy to really bring out in public to smell what Vince Jr. was doing. Now, in one way, it was great for a lot of people in the business, because wrestlers never made the kind of money they would make if it was still the territories. But just that warning that the whole thing was going to just blow up on all the independent mom and pop shops, and it did. And this was the start of it. And I was actually in on the beginning of this thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful, interesting story there. Bill Apter has a chest full of them.
Oh, Ole and Gene, by the way, whenever I wanted to pose, that they'd be at the Mid-Atlantic area, and Ole would say, "All right, count to 3 and we'll pose for you." So I'd count 1, 2, 3. They'd turn their backs, turn back to me, give me the middle finger, and walk away. Then they'd yell at me the next month for not putting them in the magazine. So
you wonder why.
He was quite a character, but he was one of the first people to really come out and blast Vince Jr. And he thought that Vince Sr. knew what was going on, and that he took it to his grave with him.
So how did he feel about the Georgia merge, the GCW merge, as far as the Vince buying them out and all the shares being divvied out, and basically Black Saturday?
I didn't like that at all, because the Briscoe brothers had a big interest in that, and I was very close friends with them. And I've got a picture of both of them giving me the finger, smiling, with the caption, "We'll never give our stock away." How did I feel about it? Lousy, because now we had no access to them. We were blocked out. All the public magazines were blocked out. They had their own magazine working. So no, it was lousy for us. But I remember one night, and this is another story I've never really told, that Jim Crockett, who I became very close with, extremely close with, I used to do the scouting reports on his TV shows and all that. He calls me one night and he says, "I got some scuttlebutt for you." I said, "What's the scuttlebutt?" He says, "I just got a call from Vince McMahon, and he wants to know if I'm interested in buying his show on Ted Turner's network." He said he hadn't told anybody else. He says, McMahon. He says, "What do you think he's thinking?" I said, "I don't talk to the guy anymore, but we all know what happened." What he was thinking there.
Yeah. Vince at that time, he was expanding, business wise. It was difficult for people from GCW and the Southern Territories to really grasp. But I mean, he was a dog-eat-dog, cutthroat type of businessman, that even, he's talked about, if my dad even know what I was doing, he wouldn't have never allowed it. He owning Titan Sports, and basically Vince Sr. wanted to keep it, regional, territories, and he didn't want to expand. But Vince McMahon Jr., he wanted to expand from that was his premise.
Cape Cod Coliseum, and I remember in the early days of him telling me that he wanted to make this like the rock concert type of business. Why shouldn't this be national? And I remember one time talking to Eddie Graham, who ran the Florida territory, and he said, "Vince and I are dear friends. This is not going to happen. He's not going to put us out of business."
Lo and behold.
Yeah, you see, Vince Sr. wanted more so than it not to go national. I don't think he'd be against national, but I think he would have liked to have had all the promoters that he was friends with, like Eddie Graham and people like that, as part of the new organization. But they stepped up and they tried to fight him. And I really thought Jim Crockett was going to never go out of business and be head to head with McMahon all the time, but didn't happen.
Well, they had pretty much a union between the promoters, and that was the NWA territories for a long time.
That was that Pro Wrestling USA show that they all tried to.
Yeah, well, that was on the
they
back.
They were all against each other. They all wanted to run it. It just.
Yep. So what you got?
Vern Gagne, by the way, had a large part in the Pro Wrestling USA. Vern was another one who never thought that Vince Jr. could take over the entire business. And look where it's gone.
Yeah.
From the territories. I mean, to closed circuit, to pay-per-view, to streaming. Oh my God. But I all trace it back to the beginning of when Vince started putting the territories out. And a lot of the fans still are hoping the territories will come back. And there are pockets of territories that draw tons of fans. They draw 400, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 people are still alive. But unless they have the type of TV saturation that WWE and AEW have, there's no chance of them surviving on a national level.
Yeah. Yeah. NWA still is kind of having that territory feel to it.
Yeah.
It's getting some national exposure now, but I mean, it's
streaming. It's streaming.
Yeah, it's streaming. It's still getting some national exposure. I mean, NWA has a bunch of followers on YouTube. So yeah. But what's on the docket to talk about, Bill, today?
Well, beside that, of course, all the fallout from the one thing I wanted to mention about what's on the docket also with that, and I don't remember where I heard you mention whether you liked this or not, but since the new person from ESPN has taken over the Kevin Dunn spot, there's a whole fresh look to the production of Raw and SmackDown and even NXT, and I love it. It's Kevin Dunn's stuff was brilliant. The new guy's stuff is, I forgot his last name. The new guy's stuff is brilliant too. It's a whole new, it's a freshen up too from what the product was. I think it's going along with the growing of what's going on now. What do you think?
I think overall it looks good. I think there's some shots that were like, man, Kevin Dunn, he was such a pro at what he did. And there are some shots that, that is a bit off. But what I do like about this production is a couple things, a couple nuances that I saw that I really liked.
As opposed to old answers, right?
As opposed to old answers, yes. So one is when they're hyping up a match before the commercial, they'll do like a little really cool production type of hype clip, and they'll do like Sami Zayn on Raw when they were promoting his match. It was like they were playing some Sami Zayn stuff, and then they kind of did like an NBA style, highlights, of him with him posing and stuff like that on the way to the commercial. I thought that was cool. Yeah. And another one I liked is I like Bronson Reed's entrance.
Oh God, that's great.
He was kind of like a Godzilla type of deal. Yeah. Just hitting the towers and stuff.
Godzilla.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool too.
What about when they like a lot of football and stuff do when a guy is like in the air and they freeze it and they'll put the circle around it. Oh, that's so good. It's so sports-like. But I wanted to bring on that. I really like that. In the meantime, I didn't think the stuff with The Rock could get hotter, but it really seems to be getting hotter now. They out of nowhere, nobody knew this was coming with Cody challenging The Rock. Now The Rock is booked for the next 2 SmackDowns. 3 SmackDowns. So are we going to have the tag team match everybody's talking about now with Rock and Seth Rollins against Roman and The Rock? Do you think that's going to happen? Or do you think they're setting this up for Cody against The Rock a week or 2 before WrestleMania, and there's some sort of angle that happens in there that doesn't change but alters the main event?
So Cody versus The Rock on regular programming is just a no-go.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
You don't want to do that on. No, you want to build that up, man. You want that's money. The Rock competing on a random SmackDown or Raw. No. Save that for the build.
Yeah.
I think that's. I think what you do is, when it seems like there's going to be the tag match for night 1, but then the thing is with that is that you're going to have 2 title matches on night 2, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about having.
Although somebody keeps telling me that the girls are going to main event one of the 2 nights.
I doubt that. I don't think there's a story strong enough for that right now. If the story was strong enough, yes. I mean, like the triple threat, the first ever women's main event, the story was strong enough for that. I mean, there was 3 matches that could have main event that year. I remember it was Seth Brock that could have main evented. The women's triple threat, and then Kofi Daniel Bryan. All 3 of those matches was at that WrestleMania 35. So I think all 3 of them had decent enough stories to main event, especially the woman. The story was strong enough for that. I don't think any of the women's.
So Becky Rhea to you doesn't do it?
No, I don't think that there's not a strong enough story yet. Now, Vince and I talked about yesterday that was pretty cool.
Vince Russo, by the way.
Vince Russo, yeah. I mean, maybe I was talking to the other Vince.
Unquestionably. Where is he?
Vince and I were talking on Smack on Leeds in a Raw. There he is.
Unquestionably, we did.
He's the one that kicked out Kyoto, huh? Keep
no, you can't come in if you're not here at 11. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Doors are closed and we're not reopening. So we talked, and we were talking about a really cool angle that could have happened. That can still happen with Becky and Rhea, because right now there's no story behind it. It's just Becky won the chamber, Rhea's still champ. I mean, give me something more. I think because there were discussions that Becky Lynch was crying because she was leaving her child going all the way over to Perth. Yeah. She was crying in the plane, during the air ride. That is perfect for a story.
What a story.
I mean, and you're thinking about, talk about Rhea getting heat. She would get so much heat because she's talking about, look at you out there and you're supposed to be the man. And I'm the strong one here because you're out here crying, because your daughter, you're missing your daughter. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put the nail in the coffin. I'm going to defeat you at WrestleMania so you can go back to your daughter. And then, on an episode or so on SmackDown, bring the daughter, to the episode, have her sit in the front row. Yeah. Give me that is just
she's like a baby, isn't she, at this point?
Yeah, give it to. Well, no, she's a couple years now.
Like 2 years.
She had her baby a couple years ago. Yeah. So she's enough to. She's walking and big enough to respond.
Oh, mommy and mommy.
and I'm telling you, just
Oh, mommy and
like
mommy.
that would absolutely get heat on Rhea if she's out there just pestering Becky Lynch and getting to a point where they do like a face to face, and she beats the brakes off of Becky, and then Becky's laying on her flat on her stomach, and she pulls Becky's head up and faces her toward the daughter. You know what I mean? And talk about the production. They're doing the camera shots on Becky and then the daughter. You know,
I love it.
I mean, talk about story. Now, if that story happens the next month, absolutely Becky and Rhea can main event WrestleMania. But now there's no story. There's
but you know what? Let's say they did that story.
Mm-hmm.
Would the fans still be behind Rhea Ripley?
I don't think so. I don't think
because right now she's like the hottest babyface heel
I think what also will help her is if she still is with Dominik, because I predicted this on another show. I said I think what's going to happen is they're going to make Rhea the baby face leading into the Perth Elimination Chamber event because it's her home country. So they want to make her the baby face. And even more to my point, she main evented, the show with Nia Jax. So they really wanted to beef her up as the baby face, and she was baby facing it up in the press conference. So that was her thing. It was a WWE's way of promoting the Perth event, having the home born. Although both Nia and Ripley are Australian born, by the way. So interestingly enough, but I think what the issue, and I said I bet you after this Perth event, they're going to heal Rhea up again. And guess what happens? The first thing on Raw, you have Dominik, who gets a ton of heat, introduce Rhea Ripley. And before that, you can tell that before the Perth event, weeks before, you can tell that they were distant from each other. Like Dominik and Rhea weren't even talking. They weren't even affiliated with each other in weeks, on Raw. But now, as soon as that pay-per-view is over, I said that they're probably going to get heat on Rhea. Dominik introduces her, so that was a way of getting heat on her. So
but you know what I think's going to happen here?
What's that?
And I mentioned this on Time Machine that hasn't been aired yet. I think that Dom is going to be moving further away from Rhea, because the look that Rhea gave him when he said that he challenged Gunther, she looked at him like, without talking to me about it, are you crazy? But then the little interaction with Andrade, what if Dum becomes a member of the bad side of the LWO, leaves Judgment Day and becomes a member of the LWO? It's an excellent transition, I think, into another bad guy role for him.
I mean, LWO's on SmackDown.
What's that?
LWO's on SmackDown.
Yeah, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Maybe
they'll woo him. They might woo him over there.
They might move both of them over.
Maybe, possibility. Who knows?
Right.
Just a thought I had.
Gotcha.
So, go ahead.
So I think with Rhea, they'll keep her heel, and I think Dominik will probably stay with them. But I do think that the Judgment Day as a whole, what bothered me with the Judgment Day was this cash in. That bothered the snot out of me, man. I just it made no sense to me why Damian Priest, who won the briefcase, is even given the Intercontinental Championship the time of day when there's random matches every week on any given Raw or SmackDown for a mid-card title. He gets the case to cash in for the mid-card title. That didn't make any sense to me.
It made no sense to me that Dominik challenged.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me either. Yeah,
when it should
big
have been
heels.
Damian Priest just making a big gesture and saying, "There's never been a Money in the Bank cashed in before a match even happens. WrestleMania, this is it." I'd be okay
Well,
with that.
RVD did that. He made an announcement
Yeah,
before.
I don't remember that,
It
but
was
I
him
think
and John Cena.
Damian Priest and Gunther would. So
Yeah,
because we're
I don't want that though. It doesn't make sense
I
to
do.
have an Intercontinental Championship though. It doesn't make sense to cash in on an Intercontinental Championship. Like Chad Gable, Bronson Reed, like there's people who Jay Uso, there's people who randomly get Intercontinental Championships
Yeah.
every week. What I think is going to happen is you're going to have all these people who want to be in the pot. You're going to have a number one contenders match, and you're going to have Sami Zayn win the number one contenders match. And that's where so they're talking about Sly Stallone. They want to pick up Sly Stallone. I think Sami Zayn's going to win the number one contenders match. And I think that's going to lead Sly Stallone to be coaching him to
why would Stallone coach Sami Zayn?
Because he's the underdog. He's an underdog. He's the underdog of the WWE. He's been losing some matches. He's trying to come back and saying that he can do it. And then you're going to have, because you have the Rocky gimmick. You have the Rocky is the ultimate underdog, and Sammy is the ultimate underdog now in WWE. He's always been playing an underdog role. Then you have Sly come in, and then you have him coach Sammy, and then Sammy be the one who dethrones Gunther.
I think if Sly Stallone comes in, it's going to be something to do with The Rock, so the fans can chant Rocky, Rocky. And you won't know which one they're chanting for.
They'll chant Rocky sucks though. I mean, so you want them clearly away from each other because you don't want Sylvester Stallone to come in and hear Rocky sucks chants.
I think if he agrees to do something there, it's going to be a lot higher profile than the Sami Zayn match.
I don't think he needs to be in that profile though. Yeah, I think that The Rock enough is like, give him that. Don't have him be with The Rock, and so you're chanting Rocky sucks. Like, why would I want to be a part of the WrestleMania?
In The Rock, I think if he's going to be there, there'll be some sort of involvement with The Rock. I don't know what, but since we're almost running,
why would you have Sylvester Stallone and be involved with The Rock?
I just told you. I think it'd be a great sight if the two of them nose to nose with each other, even in a moment before the match, with the fans yelling, Rocky, Rocky sucks, Rocky.
That's not going to happen.
Philadelphia.
You're not going to chant Rocky.
Hey, listen, one last thing before we leave and take some of the fan questions. Sting.
Yep.
Final match this Sunday.
Yep.
Sting and Darby against the Young Bucks. I have gotten so much feedback. It's in my newsletter that comes out tomorrow. Subscribe right now. Go to newsletters Sportskeeda /newsletter. But the fans are ticked off. They don't want to see a tag team match for Sting's last match. But I understand from my source, my Jerry Lewis cough. My source in AEW said that Sting does not want a separate match. That's why they're doing this. But I don't know what's going to happen. I think they're going to retain the tag team belts, and there'll be a tournament.
Yeah, I can see that.
Young Bucks can't win this, and I don't know.
No way. No. Sting has been undefeated in AEW, and out of anybody, they would have the Young Bucks to stop that undefeated streak. No way.
He's right behind me. You notice?
I did. I want to do one more. I want to talk about one more question, more topic for the next few minutes. All right. Tama Tonga reportedly coming to WWE from New Japan.
Yeah.
I'm totally on board with that. I really like Tama Tonga. To me, I think he is absolute money.
Yeah.
I think that's for him with Tongaloa. who used to be Hunico right here in WWE, and the Gorillas of Destiny, amazing team in New Japan. Tama Tonga is a founding member of the Bullet Club.
Yes, I remember.
And I think that Tama Tonga, to me, always he's had the look, he's had the swag, the cockiness, and the arrogance. He always just exuded a main event talent to me. Very athletic in the ring, very good in the ring. And I'm really pulling for him because I think that he should have been. I think that he was good enough to win, a world championship during the time that he was there. He won the Never Championship, but that's really as far
I met him when I was in Japan. I met him when Tonga, King Tonga, was just bringing him around. Great kid, but you could tell he's got that Tonga attitude.
Yeah, he does got an attitude. I think he'll, WWE will sober him up quite a bit as far as attitude is concerned. But I really think I'm really pulling for him, man. I think that if the rumors are true and he's going to go to NXT, I'm for it. I think that they should do it. I think that he should really get to the point of being a main player, a big star, and
he's got to prove himself. You can be great in another company, and then you can come to another company and okay, he's all right, but I believe in him too.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to deal with booking too. I mean, I think he has enough confidence. Of course, son of Haku, and he's got the WWE lineage there. He's a generational. He's a second generation star.
You're going to move him into the bloodline?
No. Yeah,
or be the anti-bloodline.
No, I think the bloodline angle is it's ran its course, man. I don't think that you can bring anyone in it to revive it. I think it's gone on for so long that I just think that it's ran.
I'm still enjoying it.
Well, I mean, Jay and Jimmy, like this is what you get, like out of the bloodline storyline. This is what you've gotten. You've gotten Cody Roman 2, which Cody has nothing to do really with the bloodline other than The Rock coming in now. And that's confusing because now Jay, who was doing really well on Raw, gets interrupted all of a sudden by Jimmy. And now that's the thing again. Yeah. It's just like, and then Solo, I think from what I remember, what I recall, it might be a win or two I might be missing, but Solo has not won a single match since he lost to
he's kind of lost in the shuffle at the moment. Yeah. I never thought that was going to happen. Yeah. When he first came in, he was a murderer.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
then he beat John Cena, and then I think he's lost over 20 straight matches since beating John Cena. So, I mean, come on, man. Solo Sikoa being underutilized like that, I think that's a huge
shouldn't
problem.
happen. Yeah. Should not happen.
All right, Bill Apter.
Do we have some time for a couple of questions here?
I do super chats. I don't see any super chats.
Well, let's go one or two no super chats.
Yeah, I'll do maybe one. I'll do one. I'll just do a random. I want to promote super chats on the show. Super chats that'll get your question guaranteed.
Yeah.
We will. Let's see here. Jade Cargill. What's your perspective of Jade Cargill? Yeah. Was she team with Bianca Belair or feud with her? What do you think?
I was going to bring her up. What happened to her? I mean, she's not even on the radar at this point.
I mean, she had a good showing at the Royal Rumble.
But
there's a couple options for her.
A long time ago.
I mean, that was less than a month ago. I mean, so I think there's two options for her. I think one, you can have her go against Nia Jax. Nia Jax doesn't have an opponent, and they did a face-off that was pretty cool at the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Or two, I think, which I would prefer. I think what you could do with her is you can have because right now they've been doing like a bunch of women's tag teams showcasing all of them, like Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Zoe Stark and
Shayna
Baszler, Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, Kabuki Warriors,
Yeah.
Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. I think you should have a gauntlet. And what you do is you have like the Kabuki Warriors defend their championship in a women's tag team gauntlet. There's your opportunity to showcase all the women's tag teams. And the last tag team in the gauntlet, so Kabuki Warriors is beating these teams. The last tag team in the gauntlet is Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair.
Yeah, could be. It's just that she's off the radar right now. That, they made such a big thing about her when they first booked her, when they first signed her.
Yeah.
And it's gone nowhere at this point.
Yeah, it seems like she's still got some developing to do in the PC.
Well, maybe she's got some personal issues that we don't.
Let her cook. Give her some time. You know what I mean? So, and don't rush it. If it seems like she's learning pretty well. That little showing the Royal Rumble that she had, was much better in the ring than she did all of AEW.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
Clearly someone's doing. I think Natalia's training her, so clearly she's doing something right. I mean, Natalia's a pro. I mean, she knows what she's doing, of course. And I think that her training Jade is a really good call. Let her cook. I mean, we a lot of pro wrestling fans, their attention span is very small. They don't let things cook and let it cook, let it simmer, let it cool down, let it be ready to serve. And I think that's if you just try to bring quickly bring everybody, come on, let's bring Jay, no, man, just relax, let her cook.
I misheard you when you said the Kabuki Warriors the first time. I thought you said the Cookie Warriors.
The Cookie Warriors.
The Cookie Warriors.
Sesame Street Gauntlet.
That'd be a hell of it. The Cookie Warriors.
The Cookie Warriors.
Yeah,
wow.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, very interesting. All right. This guy right here, Bill Apter. I'm Dr. Chris. You see our handles underneath our names per Bill Apter's request successfully.
Please don't forget to subscribe to the Sportskeeda newsletter.
Yes, indeed.
Every Wednesday is my special edition.
Yes.
Sportskeeda /newsletter.
Yes, indeed. Sportskeeda.com/newsletter for this guy right here. He is Bill Apter. Follow him at Apter One Wrestling. I'm Dr. Chris. Follow me at Chris Prolific. I'm heading over to Pancakes and Power Slams. Going to have some fun.
Have a good one.
Rock. I appreciate it, man.
Oh no, you can't come in. We're
done. It's too late. It's way too late.
No, I'm not letting him in. He's out. He's out in the cold in the car.
Too late.
We'll see him in referee school.
Yes, indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you
at the matches.